audio is good and everything like that.
Well, you can hope.
And we're live.
Hitting record.
Okay.
Let's go.
It's time for the Fantasy Football Guys. Get ready to call. It's the Saturday Q&A show. Here they are, Lyle Conkeal and Kevin Moore, the Fantasy Football Guys.
We are indeed the Fantasy Football Guys. Kevin? Lyle. Figured I'd be there for you, bro.
Thank you. I appreciate you picking it up for me.
Well, it's Saturday the 25th of September, and we are live on a Saturday morning as we do during the season. You may know this. If you're new to the show, welcome. Don't expect much. We are self-deprecating if nothing else. So anyway, it's a live show. If you want to get in on the action, you can give us a ring at 650-733-8334. That is, of course, 733-TFFG. You can call us at that number. During the week, you can send us questions via our, not Twitter so much, but on email at thefantasyfootballguys@gmail.com. And you can do so on our Reddit presence. That's reddit.com/r/TFFG. There's usually a questions thread in there. We are active on Twitter at two accounts, at TFFG and at TFFG Robbie. Young Robert Boy producer is doing our DFS show. He won me $2 last week. I used his lineup.
Is that right?
Got the 2 spot.
$2
Well, I'm not throwing in the $100 ante. I'm throwing in the $3
Maybe
ante.
you need to. I don't know.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
Anyway, so you can give us a call today. Sometime today, longtime listeners of the show will remember Mojo. When he first started listening to the show, and when we first started 17 years ago, his kid Chris was a little kid. Now he's a grown ass man. He's got a YouTube channel about your love.
Well,
Escape from Tarkov.
Some FPS games in there, but yeah, Tarkov is certainly one of them.
Yeah.
And it's probably the best FPS I've ever played.
So that would be a first-person shooter for the uninitiated.
Who doesn't know that?
I don't know, man. Not everybody
Who listens
plays
to podcasts and doesn't know what first-person or FPS means?
I don't know, man.
I think you're catering to the wrong crowd here.
Well, I think probably most people know what that means, but you can't assume. If you assume, you make an ass out of you. So anyway.
Which I do often.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it.
So I left the me part out of that.
Of course.
So we'll take calls as they come. We're going to be reading questions from Discord. And by the way, if you want to get on the Discord, you just go to the Reddit address I just gave you, reddit.com/r/TFFG. First sticky post is an invitation link to our Discord server. And that seems to be the busier spot. We have all kinds of different rooms in there where you can talk about beer, food, off-topic sports that are not football.
See what we got
blah,
here.
blah, blah.
We got roughly... we're closing in on 400 people on there.
Yeah, it's not even close to one of the biggest ones, but,
No, it's not at
all the
but
people that are in there love fantasy football. Most of them love beer. We have some gaming that happens in there, so it's all good.
Yeah, it's fun. It's good stuff.
We like it. All right, so let's get to some news here real quick. There's not a whole lot. Most of it's injury stuff. News like Gabe Davis is practicing on Friday, and you may go, who cares about Gabe Davis? But when you have all your starter receivers in there, the other receivers that you do want to play, like Diggs, those guys are being defended differently. If you have a backup receiver in there, like not Gabe Davis,
right,
the whole defensive scheme changes, which is going to affect your guy Josh Allen, perhaps, or your guy Devin Singletary. So starting receivers and starting players in changes the whole deal. Like Ben Roethlisberger will play on Sunday. Not sure if that's good news or bad news for your receivers or running back on that team, but hey, it's Ben. Big news out of L.A., Darrell Henderson missed practice. He's entering this coming weekend. Questionable. He's got ribs. Everybody seems to have ribs this weekend.
I like ribs. Oh, you meant...
Yeah, I don't mean slathered with sauce, Lyle.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Jamison Crowder officially listed as doubtful on Sunday, which pretty much means he ain't playing. Noah Fant did practice fully yesterday, so it looks good for him to go this weekend. Tim Patrick upgraded to a full participant in practice yesterday. Looks good for him to go. Miles Sanders did practice fully yesterday, so he has a better shot at going on Monday, or as they say down here, Monday. Marquise Goodwin, questionable for week 3. You know, the Marquise Goodwin era at Philadelphia was short-lived. It's almost as if it didn't happen.
Well, he signed with them.
Oh, yeah. And then, he opted out.
So,
I guess, good for him.
It is what it is.
So going into the Thursday night game, that's enough news. It's crazy. But going into the Thursday game, on Wednesday night show, we were talking about the Thursday game. And, I was like, I'm absolutely in on DJ Moore 100%. And that seemed to pay off. If anybody listened to me on that, then, he had 100 yards basically in the first half.
Yeah, he had a good half.
Didn't get into the end zone, but, catches and yards count too, right? Brandon Cooks also went off for $112. And that guy just continues to impress. And it doesn't really matter who his quarterback is. They throw the ball to him. And, it's just, if you've got that guy, you got to find a way to put him into your weekly lineup.
Even though, I knew it was a major risk. I kept him in. And I'm glad I did, obviously.
Yeah, and I think...
Not like he had a huge game, but it was,
Well, I assume you had him into your flex.
I did. He was a flex in 2 leagues.
Well, you went against the thing that you should never do, Lyle. You should never put your flex in on Thursday.
Huh? Well, no, actually, I think he was a WR2. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I kind of set you up there.
But either way...
he's mostly a flex, but, you can't put your flex in on Thursday for obvious reasons.
Mm-hmm.
If you can put a Monday night player in your flex, you do that just in case something happens.
It is optimal.
It is ideal.
Yes.
I have to physically remind myself to do this. I have a thing on my phone that's like check for
your
flexes.
Yeah.
And I do that on Thursday afternoon just because I want to make sure that I'm not doing something stupid like blowing my flex up, and then on Monday night or Sunday night, I'm stuck with playing a subpar player. Other than the usual subpar players on
that are
team.
on the rest of your team, yes.
Yeah, that's right. So back to the Thursday night game. So, dude, the Panthers come out of this game 3-0. Now, obviously, they're in the same division as Tampa, so it could be a problem for them. But do you think that this Panthers team is actually for real?
I don't think so. So I don't think you can win 3 football games in a row in the NFL and not be for real. Here's the thing. They have a new quarterback who seems to be what we thought he would be outside of a Jets uniform, because everybody who plays for the Jets is terrible. And they have a very, very real defense, dude. Their offense, they obviously have some weapons. They have the best running back in football, probably.
Sure.
He's hurt right now.
He's hurt, yeah.
But McCaffrey's pretty good. But they have some other weapons there too. You mentioned DJ Moore, and I think that Darnold is doing enough. I mean, Houston's not a very good football team, so it doesn't surprise me that they won that game. But the way that they've played over 3 games, I don't think you can deny that they're a real contender at this point. It's a long season, but I've said this so many times: winning is contagious, losing is as well. But it's the reason that Brady has so much confidence. It's not necessarily confidence. It's like, I'm going to go in here and win this football game. It's more along the lines of, I've done this so many times before that this is no big deal. And I can go in and just run the offense. You know what I mean? Listen, it's really early in the season, but I don't think you can go 3-0 and have anybody question you.
Exactly.
It's not easy to win football games in this league.
Yeah, and even though the first 2 were, somewhat, actually all of them were questionable as far as teams being, playoff, whatever, the Jaguars, Texans, right? But they're still pro football teams.
Yep.
And they still have good guys playing them.
I remember when the Rams were bad, and then Trent Green got hurt, and a guy nobody had heard of named Kurt Warner came in and started lighting it up, and they went 4-0. Everybody was like, are they for real? Turned out to be one of the greatest offenses ever.
You got to wonder, would Trent have had the same effect on that team?
No. No, I don't think Trent Green's
Trent
a
Green,
bad.
not Hall of Famer.
Yeah,
Kurt Warner.
Kurt Warner, no. Everything had to gel. They had Isaac Bruce, they had Torrey Holt, they had
Marshall
Falk. They had all these amazing
What
players.
was that guy's name? The slot wide receiver, like Akeem.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I can't remember the guy's name, but he was good too.
Yeah, they were. They were. I mean, it was the greatest show on turf, right? It was one of the greatest offenses ever. But prior to that season, they were terrible, and everybody was kind of like, they're
worst
not gonna,
to first,
right?
Yeah.
And then they ended up winning the Super Bowl. I mean, they were
losing in the next year to
the Tennessee Titans, wasn't it? It was Titans.
No, they beat the Titans. The next year
they beat the Titans. That's
they
right.
lost to.
They beat the Titans.
The Patriots.
The Patriots.
Tom Brady's first year.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. So the thing about Thursday, we talk about Sam Darnold, and I've actually picked him up in a league or two just because he's efficient. He doesn't really make mistakes now. And you go, well, wait a minute. Last year, he's won. If you look at the last 13 games he played with the Jets, he won 3 games. Mm-hmm. He's 3-0 with the Panthers. So everybody talks about the Gase effect. We've actually talked about Adam Gase here and about how he's a horrible coach and he must be toxic or whatever. But looking at Reddick, Kevin Clark said, you think the Gase thing is a funny little meme because Tannehill and Darnold improved post-Gase. And because the Broncos won the Super Bowl immediately after he left. Then you see that he left LSU after 2002, and they won the national title in 2003.
Oof.
So is this guy all that toxic?
No.
You got to wonder.
No. I don't think so.
I think he's a bad coach.
Yeah, I just don't think he's a. I don't even think he's a bad coach. I think he's a bad head coach. You don't get to that level that many times without having a considerable amount of knowledge and skill.
Sure.
I just don't think he's good at running the ship, and that's okay. There are plenty of great defensive-minded people or great offensive-minded people that are really good at being coordinators.
The name Wade Phillips comes to mind.
Amazing defensive coordinator.
Yes,
amazing.
It's amazing to me that he doesn't have a job. I think he wanted one last year. Nobody hired him.
He's a fantastic coordinator.
Right,
Jim Johnson was never a
head coach.
Never even considered for a head coaching
I don't
job.
think he wanted to be.
Probably not, but he was an amazing defensive mind.
But Wade Phillips is such a good defensive coach that teams go, we'll just have him be the head coach. And he accepts it because it's
that's the gig
there's
that you
32
want.
of them in the world.
Right, that's the gig you want.
Sure. So, but he's not that. I don't know that he's a great motivator. And when it comes to head coaches, motivation is really the thing you have to do the most.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit here and pretend I know what head coaches do 100% of the time, but you got coordinators to coordinate the defense and the offense and the special teams. I'm sure Sirianni is deep into the wide receiver room and doing the offense and things like that. Mm-hmm. But really,
he was a wide receiver.
He was. Really, his thing now is to motivate players and coach as he needs to. I just don't know that Wade can do that.
That's really all it is, Kevin, because let's be honest, every player in the NFL is an elite level athlete. You got to get them to buy into the scheme, right? Do their job, and stay on them, keep them motivated for sure.
It's all about the motivation.
Is that it?
Yeah, I mean, I think we pretty much talked
all
that
right, let's answer
situation.
some questions. Yeah.
So I'm going to the Reddit.
I got some tacos to eat.
That's true, you do. So we talked last week about the Taco Fest, and I was like, hey, I might go. So I asked the wife if she wanted to go to the Taco Fest. She's like, absolutely. I'm like, okay, Saturday right after the show. She's like, I got that scrapbook thing all day. I'm like, I was like, well, they do have it Sunday too. She's like, let's go Sunday. So
no Eagles game Sunday. So
no Eagles game Sunday.
So you can catch up on the games when you get back.
So I can be there at 11. We can stay for 2-3 hours, get back, watch the end of the first game.
Right.
Plus, I can watch them on my phone if I want. I do have
absolutely do that.
The app.
I've done that before. And who knows? They might even have TVs there.
Maybe.
So,
tacos and football?
Yeah. It's not, I mean, it just doesn't get much better.
I know. I'm excited.
I'm a simple man, Kevin. And I have not eaten yet today, nor will I until I get there.
Yeah.
And I'm going to eat as many tacos as I can, and then I'm going to, regret it.
Then you're going to come back to the house. You're going to fall asleep in front of the television.
Probably. Well, I don't watch TV, but yeah. I can't remember the last time I watched regular television. like anything on an actual TV.
Really?
Yeah, not even. Well, I watched the Eagles game.
College football?
I watch everything on a computer.
Yeah.
Yeah, my
Weird.
son pretty much owns the living room, and then what am I going to lay in bed and watch it? I don't know.
You don't have a TV in your office?
I have one in the kitchen. Yeah, I have one in the office. I just don't ever. If I'm in the office, I'm sitting at the computer. So, I mean, I got 2 screens right there.
Fair enough.
Why would I turn on the TV?
I don't know.
So yeah, but
All
I
right.
hear what you're saying. Sentiment's the same.
Right. Something will be on a screen. You will be snoozing in front of it.
Maybe.
All right.
Maybe. We'll see how the day goes.
So Cheesehead threw a comment into the old thread, so I moved it over to the new thread. Cheesehead says, hey guys, been wondering what your take is on the Manning brothers coverage of the Monday night games on ESPN2. While I found it entertaining and informative, it got to be a bit too much after about 15 minutes for me. I think that sometimes you need to just let the game play out without massive amounts of color commentary.
So here's the thing, man. I have yet to watch a live broadcast of it. Mm-hmm. But I've watched a bunch of clips, and I really enjoyed the clips.
Yeah.
So I was actually thinking, I might flip it on this Monday. Bit of a football game on this Monday.
A little bit.
Yeah, a little something for us. But now I'm kind of questioning that. I don't know. I really enjoy the nerdy part of football. People that break down routes, defenses, offensive line schemes. Like I
Sure.
love that kind of stuff. A quarterback going through the progression where they made the correct read, where they didn't. Like I geek out about that kind of stuff. So listen to the greats talk about it.
Sure.
2, certainly, possibly 3 Hall of Famers.
Well, they have different guys come
Right,
in.
but they had Brett Favre on
Sure.
last time, so that was pretty interesting to me. But it's why I like Tony Romo now, and I cannot claim to have ever been a Tony Romo fan, but I got to be honest, man, he's great at his job.
He's great at his job now.
Yeah. So I don't know how I feel. I hear what you're saying about Peyton getting too much exposure. Dude, he's awesome. I don't know that you can fault him, and he's going to take whatever jobs they throw at him. I like that he's still excited about football, and he still is really passionate about it and wants to talk about it and stuff like that. I like that because that's a career football guy, and he will be until the day he dies.
Sure.
And I geek out about that kind of stuff, but it's probably not for everybody.
Well, the thing about it is I want to watch the game.
Yeah.
And dive into the game, and the announcers add something to that. But when you watch Eli and Peyton's thing, they're just talking about, they're not doing play-by-play in color.
Right.
They're just talking about things.
That's why I really enjoyed the clips.
Right. I like the clips because I'm not worried about watching the game at that point.
Right.
So maybe the thing to do is record them.
Go back and
Watch
it.
the game.
You don't
and then-
have to record it. It's all over YouTube.
Well, that's true.
Yeah. So you can just go in and be like,
Look at the clips.
Manning Bros, blah, 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 clip.
Right.
And
So you get the best parts and you can throw away the chaff.
Yeah, and I could see how it could be annoying. Like they line up and they're like, "Why 39 zebra?" And I'm like, I don't know what that means, dude. And then the play is run.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, okay.
Is that what Y39 looks like? Okay.
I don't know what that means. So, but yeah, no, I hear what you're saying.
Cheesehead goes on to say, my favorite exchange, though, was when they had a guest appearance from Brett Favre and showed a highlight of one of his improvised underhand passes. The exchange went something like this. Peyton, so when did you practice those underhand throws? Brett says, usually I would just try them in games. Peyton says, yeah, that's a good time to try something new. Brett says, well, I found out that if I tried it in practice, the coaches would just yell at me. See, that's gold. That is absolute gold. He says, I love Peyton Manning, but is he getting too much exposure? Award show host, game show host, Monday Night Football, commercial. I added the commercials. So it's funny. It's like I always ask my wife, who's the biggest whore? Peyton Manning, Snoop Dogg, or Shaq?
Right. It's definitely Snoop.
Definitely Snoop. Because, well, I don't know.
Man, I don't blame him, but I saw him on the cover of a. Have you seen this? He's on the cover of a lighter. It's a. All right. So it's Martha Stewart with a long extended lighter.
Okay.
It's literally a real package.
Okay.
And she's lighting a candle, and it says "Great for candles." And Snoop's in the background, and it says "and more." Everybody knows they're talking about weed.
Sure.
Which is hilarious. But no, I mean, but the thing is, Snoop could be. I love Snoop, and everybody does.
Yeah.
So, I think it's fun.
Even people who have never heard any of his songs go, hey, that Snoopy's cool.
For sure, man.
I think Rob
Faux
Gronkowski.
shizzle.
Yeah, faux shizzle. I think Rob Gronkowski might be eking up into the top 10 of who is.
He might be. And dude, make your money.
Yeah.
I never fault anyone. If somebody wanted to pay me to appear at a place, dude, I'd do it in a heartbeat.
Sure.
So,
Well, it's funny because you see Brady and stuff now, and you see Gronk and stuff now. When they were with the Patriots, you never saw them do that
they
stuff.
weren't really. I was not really encouraged.
Yeah, I'm guessing if that's
Probably
an
frowned upon.
organizational thing, like where it's all about football here,
I don't think they can tell you what to do, but they probably
they may frown on it.
Yeah.
as we know from working at a certain credit card bank.
Right.
They
It's
don't tell
frowned
you
upon.
things, but if you want to make a career-limiting move, yeah, they frown upon that stuff.
They frown upon that. Yeah, I had earrings when I started there, and they were like, "Yeah,
Yeah, this is not.
yeah, this is." Mrs. Suedo said that to me.
Yeah,
She said,
she was still a contractor
"You
then.
need to take those out." No, she had just become an officer, I think.
Oh.
And she was like, "You need to take those out. They're frowned upon." And I was like, "They're earrings. You're wearing them
Here at the bank.
here at the bank. That's frowned upon."
Marshall Carpentry says, "Gentlemen, I set my lineup this week, but I've got an open roster spot, and if James Robinson keeps underperforming, then I'd like a new running back to plug in for at least a few weeks. Here are some guys on the waiver wire I could pick up now. Chuba Hubbard, good luck getting that dude.
Yeah, everybody's going to go after him. I think it's probably a mistake because I don't think McCaffrey's going to be out very long.
He's going to be out a couple weeks.
Couple weeks.
They're saying.
Right. So, there was people talking about spending 50, in the Discord, spending 50% of their fab on him. And I'm like, you're going to get 2 or 3 games, maybe.
Yeah. And you know what?
McCaffrey, listen, Austin Eckler tore his hamstring off the bone last year. It was a horrific hamstring injury. He was out 6 weeks. Right? I mean, so McCaffrey tweaked it and then jogged off the field. I don't think he's that hurt. They're going to be cautious, as they should be.
Right, because they want him, they're
Long-term.
3-0 now.
And now they're talking about playoffs. So they're definitely going to – he's probably going to sit at least 2 games. But if you want to spend 50% of your fab for 2 games on a guy who was the backup, I think that's a pretty big mistake.
And honestly, he didn't look to be the best backup running back they had.
He was okay. What do you have, like 11 carries for 50 yards or something like that? He was okay.
Something like that.
I think he averaged over 5, or
But I don't-
maybe 4.6 or something.
Yeah, I'm going to see something else here. I don't think that he. I don't think he's worth 50% of fab. Not many players are.
No.
Maybe James Robinson last year when he kind of blew up. Philip Lindsay a few years before that. These are guys who are clearly the number one back.
One of the arguments was that Mike Davis was a league winner last year, and but I disagree with that. Whose league? Yeah. Did somebody pick up Mike Davis and win a league? Sure. Did somebody pick up Mike Davis and lose? Yes.
Well,
I don't think. He was. It was nice to get him. The thing is, it's so difficult to get these guys, and you spend all this money. McCaffrey was out for a considerable amount of time last year.
he missed all but 2.5 games.
So I don't think we're not dealing with that kind of injury. Hamstrings are lingering and they're a problem. And you definitely have to be careful and treat them correctly. But yeah, he's going to be out like 2 games, man. That would be my guess. Anyway, in terms of all these people, certainly go after Hubbard. If you don't have to spend, if it's not a fab, certainly go after him. Why not?
If you're really looking to do that, Hubbard's a guy to get maybe
For a couple weeks. Sure.
If you have him, who actually looked better? Royce Freeman looked better.
Yeah, Hoyce. Yes, he did. He looked pretty good.
He ran harder. He hit the hole faster. I don't know if he had more yards or not because he had fewer attempts. But if they're looking for the guy who's going to be a better option, you can probably get him for nothing.
I think Hubbard's probably going to get the lead. Yeah, you're right.
Maybe.
You can probably get him for nothing. But on this list, none of these you're going to be able to plug in. I would say McKissick, but it's a non-PPR, so that's a non-starter.
Right, and Patterson's is bad for the same reason. And, Williams is clearly getting the second.
Michelle is okay, but honestly, I would just keep Robinson.
Yeah,
there.
Michelle may get more action this week because Henderson is questionable and he may have a limited.
So if that's the case,
snap count,
maybe
whatever.
Michelle. But if you've got an open roster spot, certainly go after Hubbard or Sony Michelle or somebody. We've already seen what what Patterson can do. And is it okay? Sure. Is it better than James Robinson?
Right. It's not consistent. It's gimmicky.
Yeah, I don't think so. If it was a PPR, it would be McKissick slam dunk, but it's not.
It's not. So who would you pick up as a lottery ticket flex running back out of these? Okay, so keep up the truly mediocre work as a beer podcast. Mood Lighting is a football podcast. Fair enough. I've got some really great brews thanks to you guys.
You're
thanks.
Totally welcome.
Appreciate that, man. So anyway, that's him. So let's hit the phone.
Did we have a call?
I think we have a call.
Cool.
Let's give it a shot here.
It's definitely not going to work.
See if the software is working. Hello, caller. How are you?
I'm doing great. How about yourself, fellas?
Living the dream, man.
Living the dream, bro.
Well, first of all, I just want to say I listened to about 3 or 4 podcasts of fantasy football, and your guys is by far the best and most entertaining. So keep up the good work.
Well, thank God we're entertaining because our advice sucks.
How much did you pay this guy, Kevin?
But the reality is, so does everybody else's.
Yeah, that's probably true.
It's a guessing game. So.
It is.
So,
we try to throw an educated guess out there, but it's it's hit or miss, dude. It's such a difficult industry.
Yeah, at least you guys use math. It's more
sometimes we do.
art,
Yes,
but,
we do.
Yeah, we tried, and sometimes the math doesn't work. Obviously, you say this guy, everything points to play in this guy, and he completely does nothing.
Yeah.
But the dude we said no way completely blows up.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah.
So I'm staring down the barrel of 0-2 season.
Oh no!
I think I drafted pretty well, but I got to have this one. I can't start 0-3. So in the flex,
Is PPR or no?
Cook. I'm sorry, half-point PPR.
All right.
Yeah. So I think I'm good everywhere else, but the flex, it's been killing me. It's been like whack-a-mole. It's just like I started Sutton the first week. He got me 1. So then I throw in Waddle, and then Waddle gets me 5, and Sutton gets me 21 on my bench. So
Yeah.
it's been really frustrating. And of course, that position has decided my week the first 2 weeks, and I've lost both weeks because I've screwed up the flex. So
Well, that's good
I
news.
thought I would try to kick it to the.
That's really good news. That means that this is fixable. It's not like you're getting blown out.
Yeah.
That's really good news.
No, I'm not getting. No, I'm not, it's definitely. If I guess in the flex, it would be between Waddle, Sutton, and I guess I'm really torn. I have Madison on the bench, and luckily the Broncos and the Vikings are both 1:00 games, so I'll be able to know if Cook is going to play or not.
Yeah.
So if Cook doesn't play, out of those 3 guys, out of Madison, Waddle, and Sutton, who would you go in the flex?
So it's going to be pretty close, but I mean Waddle's a non-starter here, so he's not even in the conversation.
Or a non-flexer.
It's going to be close between Madison and Sutton. If Cook does not play, it's really tempting to play Madison. The one thing I will caution you is we've seen this before, and people have stuck Madison in before. He's not Dalvin Cook.
Yes, he may have the same haircut.
He has a similar hairstyle,
but that's
about it. Sutton's got the Jets. I might stick with Courtland Sutton here in a half PPR. It's going to be really tempting to play Madison if Cook is out. But if they even say, hey, Cook's going to come in, but he's going to be on a snap count or something, just play Sutton. I have no problems playing Sutton at all. And I think what you saw last week is more like the production we're going to see out of him, particularly against a defense in the New Jersey Jets.
Yeah, I mean, they had the Giants week 1, and he only got, like 2 points, something like that.
Yeah.
Jacksonville, he threw up almost 23. So I think as they go forward with that team, I think Gloves is going to continue to settle in.
Yeah.
And Courtland is obviously the top receiver.
I don't think he's going to get 20 points a week, but I think you can count on him for like 14 or 15 or something like that.
Yeah, you can
I
certainly.
think that's reasonable.
I think somewhere between the 2 and the 22 is where he's going to be.
Yeah.
So even if he gets you 12 in a flex, that's allowable.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm sorry. So Madison or Sutton, and if Cook does, I mean, you're right. If Cook suits up, I'm not going to play him. I'm not going to. I don't want that headache. But if he does not suit up, is it Madison or or Sutton?
I'd play Sutton regardless.
I probably would too. I just don't trust Alexander and Madison.
Copy that.
Yeah, I probably would too. Obviously it's fairly close, but because you always want to play a running back. But we've seen Madison before in this role. And it's not that he's terrible. I mean, he could stick a couple in, But I would rather go with a guy who's clearly got a hot hand, rather than a rusty guy coming off the bench.
I'm trying to think. One more question, if you don't mind.
Sure.
I'm trying to think ahead a little bit because my week 9, I'm going to take a loss because I have too many people on bye. And, starting 0-2, I want to get ahead of some things. Also, I have Michael Thomas on the IR.
Yeah.
So what I was thinking, if Sutton and, of course, Judy, I think, is out another 2 or another 4 weeks or so.
I think he's on short-term IR,
thinking,
so he's got to be out until weeks.
I think he was out 4 to 6 is what they
something
said.
like
so.
that. Yeah.
Right. So I was thinking, what do you think about selling high on Sutton if he has another good game?
For what? I mean, the question when it comes to trades is, what do you get?
I feel like
out
I
of
need
it?
a tight end. I feel like I need a tight end.
Who do you have now in there?
Well, see, right now, I mean, if things go my way, I mean, I'm pretty stacked. So I have Russell Wilson, DK Metcalf,
Yeah.
DJ Moore,
Yeah.
Austin Eckler,
Yeah.
Chris Carson, and Logan in my tight end, and then my bench.
You have Logan Thomas as your tight end, and you're worried about your tight end?
I'm just saying, could I upgrade?
I mean, you can always upgrade, but
making a package with a package with maybe I was thinking maybe Sutton and a Logan for maybe a Kittle or a Pitt. I know I'm not going to get Kelsey or Waller.
Well, are you upgrading when you get Kittle or Pitts? I mean, look at their numbers. Here's the thing. I see what you're trying to do, and it's smart to try to wheel and deal and try to get there to week 9. But let's say Cortland Sutton has another game. He has another 20 points. So you're going to trade a guy who just scored 40 points in 2 weeks? You're going to trade that guy for a tight end? That's not what I would do. I'd be super psyched about having that guy on my team.
Yeah.
And I'd keep him in that spot.
Right.
And then when Michael Thomas comes back, you have no more issues when it comes to a flex. Now you have a problem as to how you figure out how
which guy to play,
because you have good players.
Yeah.
I would
guess that's
not.
why I prefaced it with Judy, because I think when Judy comes back, I doubt. I mean, right now Sutton is the big dog. No doubt about it. But I think when Judy comes back,
if Sutton continues to play the way he did last week, when Judy comes back, Sutton's still going to be the big dog. He's going to develop a rapport with the quarterback. It's not that Judy's not going to take snaps away. He's a great route runner, and I think he'll be a great receiver in this league. But it's counterintuitive to me to start thinking about trading players that are playing well. I want to keep those players.
Right. And for me, Judy coming back actually helps Sutton in ways because they have to defend them differently.
Yeah.
Sutton's not going to be getting that double or the top, the top cornerback.
Now, this is all speculating that Sutton's going to continue to play well. If he's still hit or miss,
if he throws out another 2-pointer,
then you can start talking about jettisoning him for this or that. But as far as right now is concerned, he's the best receiver they have on the team, and it's a team that seems to be throwing a lot. So that seems like a good situation to me.
Yeah,
and I think Logan Thomas will be absolutely fine.
The funny thing is I targeted Logan Thomas in a lot of leagues just because I wasn't going to go for one of those top guys.
Yeah. And
if I can get Logan in the 9th, that's the guy I'll go for.
I targeted him in leagues as well.
Yeah.
He was one of the best tight ends in the entire league last half of last year. So.
Yeah, that's true. I think I forgot about that. Okay. All right. Well, I appreciate your advice and keep up the great work.
Anytime.
Hey, man, thanks for calling, and we always appreciate it.
Yep, love you, mean it.
Yep.
Have a day, sir.
Have a great weekend.
Have a day. So, So the thing about today is, and we didn't mention this early, but Lyle does want to get to his tacos, so we're going to try to keep the show relatively on point today. So let's one more question here from the Reddit.
There's several more in there.
Yeah, but I'm saying one more right now.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Let's see. Donrell says, "Hey guys, pick one for my flex spot in a standard league." He's got Mike Davis at the Gents. He's got Pollard at Philly. Pollard is now probably at least a 50-50 split in share. Marvin Jones versus Arizona. Thanks as always. You guys are the best.
Did he say, was it a PPR or whatever?
Standard league.
Standard. Okay.
So love Marvin Jones. He's really the only bright spot there in Jacksonville.
As do I. I would probably. It's pretty close between Jones and Davis. I really like Pollard, but he's got a Zeke problem. Philly's defense has been really good against the run. I can justify setting him aside.
Mm-hmm.
I would probably lean Mike Davis here, but the way Arizona's been playing, Jacksonville's going to have to put up some points, man. So I don't hate Jones here.
I don't hate Jones either.
I would probably play Davis against the Giants, though.
Yeah, I mean, you would think let's go with the running back here, but the dude has yet to crack 10 fantasy points in a half-point PPR.
I understand, but it's a standard.
Yeah, I know. That's
if
even going to be worse.
If this was a half peeper, I'd be all over Marvin Jones. That's the guy I would play. But we get no PPR. In a standard league, he's probably going to get you like 10 points if he doesn't score a touchdown. The optimal thing is 10 points. Yeah. If he gets 100 yards, that's a great game in a standard league. I think Mike Davis can do that standing on his head.
Yeah, probably. It's really a push,
Yep.
because without the half-point PPR, Jones is maybe a couple points better than Davis is,
right.
on a week-to-week basis.
Right.
But I think his upside is there for him to have a better day. What are you giggling at?
This dude in the chat says, I don't know about being on cam, guys. I started listening 15 years ago. Now I can't tell you two apart. That's Kevin. I'm Lyle.
And not just that. When we first started, you look at the pictures at the top of our Spreaker page or our Twitter page, I am clearly the older, fatter guy.
Right.
It's tough now. We starting to look alike.
Yeah,
like an old married couple.
Starting to blend in, yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Graying beard,
yeah.
right?
Check.
Chubby cheeks.
Check.
Fading hairline, blonde hair. Check.
Check.
Yeah.
Sean Fernandez says, Jalen Hurts or Dak Prescott. Are you high?
It's
sir?
Dak, dude. 100%.
Please stop smoking the marijuana.
All right, so let's...
We're going over to the phones again?
We're going to the phones. Let's go to the 248.
All right.
And give that a shot. Hello, caller. How are you? Hello? Well, I heard static on the line, so I don't think it's us. Nope, they hung up.
Yeah, all right.
They gave up the ghost.
Give it another shot.
All right, let's go to the 407 and see what's going on here. Hello. Hi, how are you?
Good morning, gentlemen.
Jay, what's up, man?
Can you hear me?
Bro?
Oh, we can hear you.
My blood pressure. Lovely, lovely, lovely. All right, Kev, I heard you loud and clear. Lyle got a taco truck to catch.
I do.
I sent you my lineup.
I see it.
Both of you guys, because I lost the Mr. Straw, Deontay Johnson.
Yeah.
And there's a chance that I won't have Cook.
Yeah, that's going to be the problem. But so I would play. So losing Cook is a big blow. But you do have Mike Davis, which is not great, but it's also not horrible.
It's not awful.
The funny thing is, you got Clyde Edwards-Helaire here, which I'm just like, dude, would you start Davis or Helaire? I think I might start Davis.
That's bad.
Yeah, I would start Davis over Helaire. Helaire has been
It's been horrible.
Yeah.
He's been horrible. So if you lose Cook, I think that's what you do. The only other questionable spot you have here is your flex with Jamar Chase in there. It's okay. It's just against Pittsburgh, that's not the best matchup I've seen in my entire life. And Burrow has been basically running for his life anyway. So I think he's going to have trouble in that spot. So, I'd be a little bit concerned about that, but again, it's a flex spot. It's not a horrible thing. I think it's probably okay. But Pittsburgh's it's a tough defense. You get a rookie.
Yeah.
With almost a rookie quarterback, too. I mean, I know he went through camp and stuff, but it doesn't have he missed a lot of games last year and stuff. Yes. So that one concerns me a bit.
I have a bigger question than all of these put together. Why in the bloody hell do you have Kirk Cousins in and have Herbert on the bench?
Cousins has been lining it up, bro.
I get that, but...
Listen, Kev, we don't have time. Lyle got a taco chapter church, all right? But I hear what you're saying.
I mean,
I hear what you're saying.
Herbert against KC, it's a far better matchup. It's going to be a gunslinging show.
We know this.
I hear what you're saying, but, I mean, Cousins has been dynamite.
Cousins has been, he's been solid.
The thing is, if Cook is out, though, then what do you do?
You play Herbert.
Yes, that's what I was thinking.
Maybe play Herbert if Cook is out.
Yeah, because a lot of Kirk Cousins' success is throwing that dump off to Mr. Cook.
Not only that, they have to respect him, because if not, he'll burn them.
Right. Yeah, Madison doesn't qualify for the same amount of respect.
No. So, I think that's. I think you're okay at the flex, but yeah, go for it.
Let's make this the last question. So, Jay Taylor or Jay Williams? If I'm going to go with David, which one of those two guys you would start?
Taylor.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I want to see Javon Williams do something first before I start to play him. Taylor has been he was fantastic last year. He's been average this year so far, but Carson Wentz is playing supposedly. So, they'll have their quote unquote full offense unless you count not having T.Y. Hilton, which is probably pretty big, but
well, yeah.
True that.
So yeah, I would go with Taylor there.
Absolutely. And I like Javonte Williams as well, but yeah.
Guys,
yeah, man.
I appreciate it. In the blink of a win, you're on top, and all of a sudden you're arguing if you start Mike Davis.
That's how it goes, man. That is how it goes. That is fantasy, baby.
With that, yes, man. Hey, listen, we'll talk again next week. Enjoy your taco day.
Thanks,
and,
Brett.
Kev, once again, stay sweet, you sweetheart of a man.
Thank you, baby.
Thank you.
Thank you, man.
Later, G.
See you later.
All
G.
right.
All right.
Bye.
Tired, old, and fugly must be the Philly special. LOL. You burned us there, pal. Oh. You have to come with something a lot more original. Claw 36. Who to drop for Chuba? Chenault, Corey Davis, or Marquez Callaway, or
Chenault.
None? Yeah, probably Chenault.
Yeah, Chenault. He's just droppable, period.
Yeah.
Irregardless.
Yeah, probably.
Of anything else. I love how you dropped supposedly in there. That was fantastic.
Right?
248 called back. Let's go.
All right, 248.
Hello, caller. How are you? Hello?
Hello.
And once again, dropped.
Wow. Maybe they're just shy.
Maybe they're trolling us.
Maybe. That'd be
possible.
Funny. That'd be pretty good troll.
That would be pretty funny. All right, so let's go. Oh, I saw. Have you heard of a vampire league?
Oh, yeah. We talked about it last year.
I think so.
Yeah.
It seems like it would only be fun for the person who's the vampire.
Right.
And would suck, no pun intended, for everybody else.
Yeah.
For the uninitiated, basically you have a 12-team league and only 11 draft.
Right.
And the 12th person is the vampire. I don't know how you determine who this is, short straw, whatever.
Right.
But the vampire picks up his or her team from just the wire, whoever's left over. Mm-hmm. And then whoever has to play, whoever's playing the vampire the first week, the vampire claims a person on the other person's roster.
Right.
And if the vampire beats that person that week, they get that player.
Right.
So over the course of and the other thing is that the vampire is the only player, the only team that can pick up off the waiver wire. Everybody else is
locked in.
Right. So I don't know how it works if you get a player taken from you and you don't have anybody to fill that spot. You can't go to the wire. So I'm not 100% sure how that would work.
I guess you better have a deep bench. I don't know.
I guess. But you can't have too deep of a bench because then the vampire has nobody to choose from. So
Yeah, it's an interesting concept, but it seems too complicated for me.
yeah, it's too many moving parts. Guillotine's hard enough.
Yeah.
It's harder on the psyche.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go to, let's see. Mighty Tater Nut says Kirk Cousins or Matt Stafford?
Close, but I would probably play Stafford this week.
No PPR, but half point for first downs. Mark Andrews or Noah Fant?
Yeah, Fant has been playing well.
And Andrews is not.
I would probably start Fant.
I think I would too.
It's a tight end spot, so it's not like you're, swapping out Derrick Henry for somebody.
He said through first 2 weeks, Fant is outscoring Andrews. So, yeah, I mean, Andrews just, I don't know what the situation is there. Do they love that Sammy Watkins is there for some reason? I don't know. Andrews used to be target one. Now he's not doing anything. Chench the Mensch says, back for more mediocre advice. Thank you, guys. Well, you're welcome, Chench. Half-point PPR pick one for the flex, Deontay Swift at Baltimore or Cortland Sutton at the Jets.
Half-peeper?
Half-peeper.
Swift is questionable. If he plays, I'd probably play him, but I do like Sutton a lot, so I wouldn't worry about it too much.
Yeah, I'd probably go Sutton here for the reasons we talked about before. Jets, PPR, yada, yada. Half-point PPR pick one flex. Edmund at Jacksonville or Juju at Cincinnati versus Cincinnati at Pittsburgh.
At Pittsburgh. Probably Edmonds.
Yeah,
against Jacksonville.
I think it's probably a push. But yeah, I would go Edmonds as well.
Big Ben is like super hurt and
yeah, he's throwing with pain.
He's got like a torn pec or something.
Yeah, I don't know if it's torn, but it's
sore.
Yeah, he's playing, but I don't know. Juju is the fact that Deontay's out might help Juju a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But even still, in a half-point PPR, I'm going to go with Chase Edmonds. So I'm going to give 248 one more chance here. This is the last chance you got. All right, 248. Hello, caller.
Third time's the charm.
Hey.
Sorry about that earlier.
No worries, man.
Hey. This is Man of Steel.
Oh, hey,
what's up, man? Are you sitting in a cafeteria right now?
Yeah, are you where are you at? Army mess hall?
I'm in the tire shop waiting for my car.
Awesome. All right, well, how can we help you, sir?
So, well, I guess my biggest question right now is if I should do Trevor Lawrence or Matt Ryan this week.
Matt Ryan, 99 times out of 99.
Yeah, that's going to be 100% Matt Ryan. I feel sorry for you, but yeah, I would do Matt Ryan against the Giants.
Who's on the wire, man? Can you pick up Darnold?
Pick up who?
Darnold.
Well, I mean, he already played, but.
Well, I know, but I'm just talking for the rest of the season.
I mean, Danny Dimes, Teddy Two Gloves, they're both on the wire right now.
I would trade both of them for the quarterbacks that you have right now.
Yeah.
Actually, in the Guillotine League, I took Ryan Tannehill out and put Danny Dimes in. He's been playing better. So, I mean, Trevor Lawrence, is this a keeper league?
I got to be honest with you, man. I would play.
No.
Okay.
I would play both of those guys over Matt Ryan, and I would play Daniel Jones against Atlanta over Matt Ryan against the Giants.
Yeah. And honestly, Trevor Lawrence is going to do you no good this year, dude. Unless it's a keeper league and you can hang on to him.
You can feel free to jettison him.
Teddy or Danny, I think, are better for backups. For me, anyway.
Yep.
Okay. All right, I will do that. And I got Lyle in the free league this week.
Oh, great. I'm 0-2.
I want to ask about that one.
Yeah, I'm 0-2. So
I know you blamed me for beating you last week, but we're playing this week.
Oh, okay.
So
oh, yeah.
Maybe you made a prediction.
I just messed it up. Well, I don't know, but I just know that I'm in trouble. I'm 0-2.
Right.
I just lost my top player.
Yeah. Oh, you had McCaffrey?
Mm-hmm. so
sorry. I mean, I'm not laughing at McCaffrey's injury. I'm laughing at the fact that Lyle, once again, had the first pick, took McCaffrey, and it's biting him.
I mean, what would you do with the first pick? You'd take him too.
Oh, yeah.
All right, well.
But I never had the first pick.
Yeah, so.
So anyway, man, we missed you this last Wednesday at Among Us. So
Yeah, I'll try to get on this week.
All right,
or
that sounds
next week,
good.
whatever.
All right,
But,
man.
yeah,
Cool, man.
cool. All right, thanks, guys.
All right, man. Get your tire
right,
fixed. Have a day.
Bye,
All right,
man.
later.
So, yeah, Man of Steel usually joins us for Among Us on Wednesdays. Wednesday.
Yeah, all right.
One last
Yep. Then we got Discord and we got emails.
Actually, we have two more because somebody just popped in.
Ooh.
Okay, so let's see. T-Dub77 said, my whole team seems to be hurt. PPR, Eli Mitchell and T. Higgins doubtful. Deontay Johnson already ruled out. If Swift can't go, he's questionable right now. Can I play Mel Gordon and Javonte Williams? I also have Ronald Jones, but don't love that guy. I grabbed Renfro off the wire to fill for the other wide receiver spot, assuming T is out. Is it also time to start Carr over Allen?
No.
Lots of questions here. Okay, so Deontay, let's see, what's he asking here? Swift?
Well, if Swift plays, you play Swift.
Yeah.
I would also play Javonte Williams over Ronald Jones. I mean, I think you have to play Mel. So, yeah, I don't think it's terrible to play both running backs from the same team.
I'm sure you'd much rather have, Cleveland's situation, but
right.
But
But I would play both of those guys over Ronald Jones.
Absolutely.
And he's got the Rams this week too, so it's not like it's an easy running game for the
Certainly
Bucks
not.
this week.
Yeah.
So. And to your question about Carr and Allen, absolutely not.
I really like what Carr is doing.
Same.
But Allen, he started slow last year, and I know that doesn't help you in week 3, but yeah, Allen's the much better player. After this week, if it's Carr still, then maybe next week we talk about that. But week 3 is too early. Okay, so Appearin says, hey, gents, you suggested benching CEH this week. Perhaps worth it for me with some other options. My bench, Kareem Hunt, Tyler Boyd, Fournette, Christian Kirk. Free agents are Zach Pascal, KJ Osborne, Cordell Patterson, James White. So I would bench CEH for Hunt. I would bench him for Fournette. I would bench him for Boyd and Kirk. Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
I mean, you look at...
Is it a PPR, does he say?
Doesn't say. But the thing is you look at CEH last year, he had a game. The first game, he was like, hey, this kid's pretty good. And he did not do the same thing. Maybe week 2 he was all right. But then after that, not so much.
Yeah.
They don't run the ball there. They just don't.
Yeah.
And when they do, he averages 3.5 a carry, but he gets 12 carries.
Right.
So he's getting you 5-6 points. What's that do? What's that do for you? He's not really in the passing game. He may catch a couple, but with all that in mind, Kareem Hunt, a way better play. Tyler Boyd, especially in a flex, is a way better play.
Yep. Christian Kirk against Jacksonville is probably a way better play.
Real good play.
I'd probably play Hunt.
Yeah.
But like Kevin said, any one of those guys is better than CEH. I need to see a game out of CEH before I can recommend putting him back in the lineup.
I almost need to see 2.
It's not just the 2 games this season that Kevin's alluding to, right? We saw this last year too.
Now, last year he had a Lev Bell problem.
Not really.
Well, the problem was Lev Bell was on the field and he wasn't.
Sure, but it's not like Lev Bell had any carries or did anything.
Right. So it's a Kansas City running back issue at this point. So
yeah, it sucks that you drafted him, but I got to see something out of him before I can consider playing him.
Now, if they committed to the run and gave the guy 20 touches a game, he might be worth playing. They don't do that.
They don't have to.
Right.
They got Mahomes. They got Byron Pringle. Yeah, I mean, seriously.
Demarcus Robinson.
Yeah, I mean, all those guys run like a 4-1.
Right. So
right. I'm
might as
being
well do
facetious. I know they don't actually.
Might as well do a jet sweep, right?
I mean, so that's and they got the best young quarterback in the game. I mean, what do you they don't need a solid running game like that. What they need is a change of pace, right? Which they use Edwards-Helaire for. They're like, the defense is like, oh my God, they didn't throw.
Yeah.
And they're out of position. So Edwards-Helaire might have a decent run or something, but they have a passing offense.
By the way, he says it's an 8-team full PPR.
Got to be somebody on the wire if it's an 8-team.
Yeah. He said he's got Tannehill, Zeke, Montgomery. So you don't need CEH. You got Devontae Adams, Keenan Allen, DJ Moore. Good God. Yeah. And the best tight end you could get was Goddard. All right, fair enough. So, anyway.
Groove says, have you guys been hearing the Watson talk heat up? Do you think he's worth a bench spot at this point? We are forced to roster 3 quarterbacks in our league. No.
Is this email?
No, it was in the chat.
No. So, what was the question? He's got what?
He said, have you guys been hearing the Watson talk heat up? Do you think he's worth a bench spot at this point? We are forced to roster 3 quarterbacks in our league. No.
Number one, screw that league. Well, you shouldn't be forced to systematically put in any number of positions. That sucks. I don't know. I mean, my thing is he a good quarterback? Can he put up points for you? Sure.
But dude, is he gonna
play?
Right. And then where is he gonna go? And then is he gonna be suspended? And then
he's not going to be suspended because his hearing isn't even until February. So he's good to go.
Oh, I guess that's possible then. Okay.
Right. So he's good to go for this year. But the thing is like, I just don't want to sully myself by putting that guy on my bench.
I mean,
frankly,
if I knew, what are his possible landing spots? Miami is one of them, certainly. So there could be some damage there. And then Philly, I don't think he starts. I think Jalen Hurts starts over him until a considerable amount of time. So no, I don't think he's worth a bench spot. He's not playing.
You know who's worth a bench spot right now? Josh Gordon.
Sure. He'll come in.
Yeah.
He might catch some passes.
That's the kind of guy that, if your crime is smoking weed, okay. If your crime is sexually assaulting women, I have a problem with that.
A whole bunch of women?
Yeah, I got a real problem with that. And I know innocent until proven guilty, but if it was one person or two, you go, okay, well, maybe
there's like 20 something.
There's 22.
Yeah.
And they all tell similar stories.
There's a lot of smoke. There's a lot of smoke.
Sorry, I have to look my wife in the face.
Yeah.
And even though she would never know, still, I'd be like, I'm trying to win fantasy points, so I got a sexual predator on my... I can't do it. Can't do it.
I hear what you're saying, Kevin. If I knew he was going to go to Miami, I might pick him up. But the talks are heating up. They're not even trading him right now. And not only that, their quarterback went down, and he's still not active. So I'd be shocked if he plays a game this year. I'd be shocked. So until they clear all this stuff up, no, he's not worth anything.
So what you're saying is you do not share my sentiments.
No, dude, I get what you're saying, but if it would be different if I knew he was going to a football team and was going to play, then you're like, all right, I got to make a decision here. Somebody's going to pick him up.
Sure.
Do I let someone else do it? It was kind of like what happened, with Vic. I didn't like what Vic did. Put up a lot of fantasy points. You got to separate the art from the artist. But at the same time, maybe. If an NFL club is going to give him a shot, then my lowly fantasy squad, you know what I mean? But I hear you. Like I've said many times, the guy might be a monster, And if it turns out he's a monster, I don't want anything to do with him. We just don't know at this point.
Right.
We suspect. We suspect a lot. But, and I really hope the Eagles steer clear of him. But if the Eagles steer clear of him and he gets completely vindicated, I'm going to be furious. Because obviously he's crazy talented. So it's a very complicated situation. Like Kevin said, it's better to just avoid him altogether. So no.
Sleep at night. That kind of thing. So emails.
Don't worry about it. Yeah. All right. Going over to the emails. Charles says, hello, guys. Thanks to your sage advice, I won big last week. So
nice.
You two Taco Festival fellas get 3 thumbs up.
3 enthusiastic. The third thumb?
But I can always use more of your educated guesses. So here we go. Pick a quarterback and a tight end and a flex and a 10-team standard. Quarterback, Baker Mayfield or Danny Dimes?
Danny.
I'm playing Danny, too. I'm rolling the dice. Dude, I don't think you're losing that much. He's not a great quarterback, but he is a great athlete.
Just on the runs.
Yeah.
And when the fact that Baker's kind of banged up, too.
Noah Fant or Mark Andrews.
We picked
Fant earlier. Possible flexes are Josh Jacobs against Miami and Chase Edmonds versus Jacksonville.
Well, if Josh plays, he's the one.
Definitely play him. If not, Edmonds is fine. You also have Claypool. I'm skeptical of him because of Ben. OBJ, similar situation. Sterling Shepard has been playing quite well. I don't know that I'm ready to go for a Danny Dimes Sterling Shepard stack, though.
Well, if you're gonna go for a dice roll,
would you flex him over Chase Edmonds?
No.
There you go. Also, would you play any of these wide receivers over Justin Jefferson?
No.
I'm not even going to look at them, and I'm going to tell you no. But let's. Those? Yeah, no way. Thanks, and don't forget it's crunch time, fellers. I didn't think I got a response from my last email about sending you some beers. Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll get you the address, buddy. We really appreciate that. Quite a few.
Dude, I'll send you that. I'll just hit respond right now.
Photos right there that were pretty good. Let's go over to Mark. Mark says, need some help setting my lineup this week. 12-team half peeper. So far, I got Brady, Zeke, Mixon, Chase Edmonds, A.J. Brown, Kupp, and Jared Cook. Was going to use Antonio Brown, but looks like he's out. Yeah, he's beat up. Need help with my flex spot. I'm trying to decide between Cole Beasley, Brandon Ayuk, Cordero Patterson, or AB if he gets cleared. Obviously, it's AB if he gets cleared.
Is this Mark?
Yes.
Okay.
Obviously, it's AB. But if we have to pick a different one, it's a half peeper. I wouldn't play Ayuk. Patterson, so I guess a Cole Beasley, I guess.
I guess.
I mean, you going to play Patterson?
No.
You going to play Ayuk? He hasn't done anything.
Probably not.
Debo definitely is the best receiver on that team.
And he was preseason, too. He just got no love. I got him on 2 or 3 teams.
What do you guys think about Ayuk maybe finally getting involved this week with all the rib issues San Fran is having? I don't think so. I got to see it, man. We haven't seen anything from him yet.
I know they're easing him back in, all that kind of stuff, but I don't want him on my starting roster as they're easing, frankly.
Patterson seems like he's a good play. With Gage out of the picture, he might get some extra work with receiver. Yeah, might. He also might not. It's also the Atlanta Falcons.
And he also gets runs, too. I mean, I like the way they're using him, but not on my fantasy squad.
No, he's the number 2 running back / wide receiver on a terrible team. I would stick with Edmonds.
Yeah.
It's more guaranteed touches, I think. So he says, I appreciate any help you can offer. Love the show. Have a day. You have a day, sir.
You actually have a great day.
Yeah. And I think that's it for the emails.
Really?
So we go over to Discord and the podcast questions in Discord here. And I'm going to scroll right to the top, which is Listener 42 is the first one, Kevin.
Let me get there.
All right. For week 3, half peeper. Need 1 running back, 1 wide receiver, and 2 flexes. He's got Gibson, Juju, Miles Sanders, Hunt, and then there's Boyd, Singletary, Wilson, Mitchell, and if Josh Jacobs somehow plays, I'm putting him in over Hunt. Okay, so you need 1 running back. You got Gibson.
It would be helpful to put all the running backs together. Just saying.
Boyd, Singletary, Wilson, Mitchell. Those are all hard-nosed. Boyd is a possibility. So do you need a running back and a flex still? I don't understand.
Well, it looks like he's playing Gibson and Sanders.
Okay, so that's 2 running backs.
And Hunt.
So that's 3 running backs.
So we need a 4th running back?
I don't know.
So I would play if you need another running back, I'd play Singletary over Mitchell.
And then you need a wide receiver and 2 flexes. I mean, that's pretty much the entire team.
He says if Josh Jacobs somehow plays, I'm putting him in over Hunt. Yes, I agree with that.
I do too. I'm not psyched about Mitchell. I'm not psyched about Wilson. Boyd is okay. Singletary's okay. I think the guys that you got starting are correct.
I agree.
Jake S. says, hi, fellas. Hoping to get some advice on trade options in one of my leagues. Heading into week 3, 0-2 with the following team half peeper. Herbert, DJ Moore, Mike Williams, Aaron Jones, Saquon, Chris Carson, blah, 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 blah. I've got 2 offers, Barkley for Scary Terry or Montgomery for Julio Jones. Any thoughts on this? I would not trade Barkley for Scary Terry. Not a chance.
No.
And Montgomery for Julio is probably fair.
But here's the thing, and this is what kills me about trades and about making trades. is that running backs are at such a premium in any fantasy league, and wide receivers, even a slot wide receiver can be plopped in there and get you some points. I love Julio Jones.
Yep.
But Montgomery is nowhere near the player that Jones is. But Montgomery is the feature back on an NFL team and gets carries every week. You can't trade that for a receiver.
He's on his bench, though. He's on his bench. You also got McKissick down there.
I understand that. Who is the running back on your bench that's going to take the place of McCaffrey?
I don't remember.
Would you like to have David Montgomery be that running back?
Sure would.
Right. You don't trade
Yeah.
bench running backs, so no matter how good they are
Yeah.
or how useless you feel they are because they're on your bench, right? If honestly, I'd probably have Montgomery instead of Barkley until Barkley does something. But either way, if Jones or Barkley goes down, you have a starting running back to plug right in.
Yep, and you already have Chris Carson in your flex. I think this team's going to be fine.
Yeah, I wouldn't fool with it.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, you got Noah Fant, Chris Carson in your flex. You have Aaron Jones, who just scored 4 touchdowns. You have Saquon, who I think will be fine. It's going to take him some time. Mm-hmm. You got DJ Moore and Mike Williams, fantastic wide receivers. You got Herbert, who I think will come
And
around.
you have Marvin Jones on your bench, who is playable. And you have Will Fuller on your bench.
He's going to come back at some point.
And I'll tell you what, if he comes back and plays this week, he probably won't do all that well because he's rusty. But next week, if he's not hurt this week, I would play him Fuller absolutely next week because you're going to get a short window of Fuller because he's either going to get hurt or do something stupid again and be out again.
Right.
So
play him while you got him.
Right. But yeah, I wouldn't trade. I wouldn't make either of those trades.
All right. Ivar, what's up, Ivar? Says, hey, fellers, got some quick hitters for you if you have time enough. I think I'm 1-1 across the board. Thanks for the fantabulous advice over the years.
You're welcome.
Work League, 10-team half-peeper. He's got Deontay Johnson out. One flex from, leaning towards one of the 2 Arrowhead dudes. Okay, so either Boyd or Juju. You also got Kenyon Drake, Singletary, and that's it. I agree with you. I would probably play Tyler Boyd.
Yeah, I would play Boyd. That's a tough one against the Steelers, though.
It is. I mean, but it's either that or you play Juju with Big Ben all banged up. But Deontay's out, so.
Sure. But, one of the reasons that I would play Boyd, even though the matchup is tough, is Boyd is not a downfield guy. Boyd is an 8 to 10 yard play type of fella. Yep. And if you're taking quick drops and throwing, Boyd's your guy.
Yeah.
And they're going to need to do that against the Steelers pass rush. So I really like Boyd this week, and especially on this list.
Keeper League, 12-team PPR plus return yards. Darrell Henderson injury. He's got Julio in the flex. One running back from Tony Pollard, Kenyon Drake, or Jamal Williams. I think you have to play Pollard, but I wouldn't be psyched about it. It's just that Drake and Williams are not good.
Well, if
fantasy-wise.
If Jacobs is out, then Drake has value. But you know what? Jacobs is out last week.
Sure, and what did he do?
Drake had fewer carries than Peyton Barber.
Right.
So bad deal.
Yeah. So I think you have to play Pollard, but I would hope he sneaks into the end zone.
Yeah.
Listener Dynasty League, 16-team PPR plus return yards. Gallup, Nikhil Etienne, Higgins, Amendola. I don't know what that means.
It means they're all out.
Oh, okay. Yes, they are all out. Yes. No, you didn't have to mention Etienne. We know he's been down. One wide receiver and 2 flexes. Jacoby Myers, Jalen Reagor, Braxton Berrios, Quintez Cephas. I would play him for Berrios probably. Pat Freiermuth and Ronald Jones.
As sad as it sounds, I think you got the right guys picked. He's got Myers, Reagor, and Berrios picked. Bad matchup for Ronald Jones, and bad situation and matchup for him. Not going to play a tight end, really. A second-string tight end. And Quentin Cephas is a lion.
I would play Cephas over Berrios, though.
Probably. I think those guys are a push. You're going to get 5 points. If one guy scores a touchdown, then that does it for them. Braxton Berrios, can't do it. Quintez Cephas, he's a lion. Jared Goff, who's been playing all right.
Yeah.
Cephas has basically a couple of good plays this year so far.
Yeah, but they count.
They count. But yeah, I think they're interchangeable. But if you like Cephas over Berrios, all right.
And then one quarterback from this one, Danny Dimes or Joey Burrow, buddy.
He's got Danny Dimes arrowed.
I would play Dimes.
I don't think you're wrong.
I'd roll the dice. Why not?
You know what, though? As he continues to put points up there, I think the fact that it's a dice roll diminishes. This week, still a dice roll because we haven't really seen it. If he does it again, he puts up, 18-plus points this week.
Yeah.
Not going to say he's an every week starter, but he's inching towards it.
He is. I mean, and it's sort of not.
And it's the running. It's
close.
the running that he does.
But dude, I mean those are the quarterbacks that you covet, man.
Sure. I mean, because he doesn't just get 3 or 4 yards at a clip. Dude takes the whole field.
Yeah.
And if he can stay on his feet, he gets into the end zone.
Yeah.
Yeah, love it.
Beerman Callie says, "Morning fellas, doing that thing last week. You helped me go 4-1 with your semi-mediocre advice.
Semi. Looking up.
Just one question, please. My 2 quarterback teams start Mahomes, obviously.
Sure.
And either Herbert, Stafford, or Teddy Two Gloves. Thank you. And remember, bang, bang, Niner gang. Oh, F you. Have a lovely day. Love you, Lyle. And love you too, brother. And hope your uncle is good now. It was Kevin's uncle that was the pain. It was my grandfather, but same thing. And Kevin, you're a treasure. Take care of all you TFFG mofos.
I'm a treasure.
You are a treasure.
Not sure what that
He
means.
said he loved me, so.
Does that mean he wants to bury me?
Maybe. Herbert, Stafford, or Two Gloves? I would so I don't think Teddy's in this conversation.
No.
It's between Herbert and Stafford. I hear what you're saying. I would probably play Herbert against Kansas City, but I like what Stafford is doing. It's very close. He's probably a much safer play. But against KC, I think Herbert's just going to have to throw so much.
Do you know what bothers me about Herbert? Herbert is fantastic.
He really is.
What bothers me watching most of that game last week is...
Yeah, I watched it too. They were playing Dallas.
Yeah. The problem is that the team around him can't stop making stupid penalties to get his plays called back.
Tons of them.
His receivers can't stop dropping passes. They should have won that game last week by 2 touchdowns.
Yes, they should have.
Because 2 touchdowns were called back due to stupid penalties.
Yep.
So I trust Herbert. I mean, he makes amazing throws and does amazing things.
Yep.
But I can't trust the team around him not to ruin the day for Herbert.
The thing is, I hear you. He's got KC, which is obviously an optimal matchup.
Yeah.
Stafford's got Tampa.
Yeah, I
tough.
get that.
I would play Herbert, but I understand
I would
what
play
you're saying.
Herbert as well. I mean, because hopefully the coaching staff this week cleans some of that up. You can't clean up dropped passes, but you can clean up stupid penalties.
Yeah.
You can try anyway. So I love Herbert, and I would play him in this spot.
Flex questions in a few leagues from Booty Shorts. This is our last one, Kevin. Hunt or Claypool?
Hunt.
I think I agree. I get what everybody's saying. Deontay Johnson out, play the Pittsburgh receivers. I think I would still stick with Hunt in a half peeper. League 2, James Robinson or Henderson if he's active. If he's active, it'd be Henderson.
Yeah,
it's probably
100.
going to be James Robinson. And then League 3, Swift, Shepard, or Devonta Williams. We answered this one similarly earlier. We went with Swift.
If he's in, yes.
If he's in. Yeah, but if not, it would definitely be Shepard.
Indeed. We have a call.
Oh, okay.
Let's go to the 626.
Yeah, right.
See what's up. Hello, caller. What's up?
What's up, fellas? It's Rasta Doc.
Rasta Doc. What's shaking, bro?
What's up, bro?
I'm trying not to get pulled over this time.
Yeah, don't. Yeah,
That would
that's
be
right.
ideal.
Yeah. What's up, brother?
My question for you is pretty straightforward. I'm sure you're going to hear it a lot, but I lost Christian McCaffrey,
Yeah.
and I'm just trying to wrap my head around some strategy at this point. We don't know how long he's going to be out, but
So they said a few
long,
weeks.
given-
My guess is it's going to be 2. From what I saw and all the analysis that I watched about it yesterday, because I have him in 2 leagues, so I watched everything I could.
Sure.
It looks like a grade 1 strain, right? There's 3 different grades. The Austin Eckler injury last year where he tore it off the bone was a grade 3. That's bad. That was a 6-week injury, and Eckler came back.
Yeah.
So I think he's going to be out 2 games. If we're lucky, it's only 1 because he played on a Thursday. So maybe he can, rest up for a week and 10 days or whatever and come back to work and be fine. I don't think you need to freak out that much. So on the outside, at the absolute worst, it'll be 3 games. That's my guess.
In your leagues, did you get Chuba Hubbard?
No, and I don't know that I'll target
I did
him.
not.
I don't know that I'll target him on the waiver wire. It depends on what happens in this week's games. I may target him. I may end up targeting who's the other guy? Royce Freeman, Royce Freeman. I'm going to have to do some analysis on kind of the snap counts and all that kind of stuff. But I think the big thing that you need to take away from this is you can't replace him. You can't. You could
fill the spot, but
even
you can't replace
even
him.
if Hubbard was getting 100% of the snaps, he's not going to be half the guy that McCaffrey is. He's just McCaffrey. It's not even that that Chuba Hubbard can't be a good running back. He probably totally can be, right? McCaffrey is just so much better than almost everyone in the league. They're really like when they're healthy, it's like there's tier 1 is Derrick Henry, Christian McCaffrey, and Dalvin Cook. And that's it. I don't think Kamara's even in the conversation. I think he's high tier 2, but those 3 guys, when they're healthy and they touch the football, they're incredible. So there's no replacing him. I hate to rip the Band-Aid off, but he's the fantasy wise over the past 3 or 4 years, 3 really. His numbers are not even close to anyone else's. In a full PPR, Derrick Henry's not even close to him. If you look at his numbers, look at the 2 games he played last year, right? He had 28 points in each game or something. He's ridiculous. So I'm sorry. It's going to be a rough go for us McCaffrey owners for the next 2 or 3 weeks.
Try not to drive into a bridge abutment as Lyle is really depressing you here.
What you need to do, right? What you need to do is, you go after Hubbard, but depending on how your waivers are set and who gets the number 1 priority or whatever, you're not going to get him. So you have to hopefully have somebody in you could play a wide receiver in your flex, move that flex running back up to your RB2 slot, and hopefully eke out a couple games. That's the best play. I don't think you can find somebody on the waiver wire that's going to get you through this. If you do, you got really lucky.
Well, that's why I'm telling the dude not to get rid of Montgomery.
Yeah.
This is the very reason, because I'd rather have Montgomery than Chuba Hubbard. I always want to say Chuba.
Of course, yeah.
This is why you don't get rid of those bench guys. Well, I can trade, but you're going to need them. At some point, your running backs are going to go out for a week or 2.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, so certainly go after Hubbard, and if you can't get him, maybe go after Royce Freeman too. Put him as number 2. We'll see what happens after tomorrow in terms of who got hurt and, if there's somebody, actually does something.
Somebody emerges.
Yeah, who knows, man. But the bottom line is this is a big blow, and let's hope that it's not a long-term injury.
Got it. I appreciate that. I feel better already, man. Thank you.
Boy, that was
a question, a general question for you guys, which is, I've noticed in the past, and I'm trying to be better about it this season, is that I need to go back and watch some of the games to see people pass the eye test, because just watching the numbers, doesn't tell you if someone's really explosive and just or things getting called back, like you were talking about Justin Herbert.
Yep.
So I feel like there's a component of this that relies on you seeing the actual football.
Yeah.
I've played in leagues with finance people, and they just do analytics, and they're like, I don't care what people's names are. And that part is true too.
Yep.
But that can only get you so far. Dude, NFL Game Pass is $99 for the season.
Yep.
You can see every game.
You can watch every game, and they have replays.
Yeah. So.
Oh, I got it.
Yeah.
Believe me, and I'm just clicking through.
And they do those fast replays that are 22 minutes long for the whole game. So every Monday, when I get up in the morning, I start working. I have a second monitor. I put the game on, and when that game's over, I put another one on. And by lunchtime, roughly, I'm through all the games. That's what I do.
Yeah.
If I see something significant, I'll rewind it. I mean, I'm not, concentrating on every single play. But the other thing that I do that I think is super underrated is there are a bunch of people on YouTube that break down individual players. They're just regular people, but you could tell that they're football geeks. And they'll go through and they'll break down. There's a guy who does it for the Eagles, right? And he'll break down Devonta Smith against the 49ers, who had 2 catches, right? He had 2 receptions the entire game. But if you break down, and he'll break down every one of his routes and even some of his good blocks, right? And you look at how often he was open and how often Jalen Hurts missed him and the times he made mistakes and all that kind of stuff. And you can kind of get a gauge on where that guy is in terms of his NFL football IQ by watching that kind of stuff. There are a ton of them. There's a dude that does it for the Steelers. There's another guy that does it for the Cowboys. I mean, they're all over the place. So just type in like breakdown on YouTube or like, Chargers breakdown or something like that, and you'll find these guys. And that information is invaluable to me.
And yeah, I mean, being able to do that kind of thing, watching every game is crazy valuable because you get to watch offensive line play, which is extremely important, and you get to analyze how defenses play and be able to look at those matchups as you go forward and go, well, this guy's injured now. As Eagles fans, we were looking at maybe the Eagles being able to take advantage of the fact that the 49ers' best cornerback was out. The Niners covered that well.
They did.
Obviously
really
well enough to win. So, those are the kind of things watching film is what they call it, but really it's just geeking out on NFL.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And the thing is, I'm a football nerd, so I like that kind of stuff anyway. Mm-hmm. So it's not like work for me. It's the opposite. So
yeah, I
appreciate it.
I go through.
You reminded me of another thing, which is you guys being Eagles homers could tell me if Gainwell's going to get more touches.
My guess is that he will. San Francisco's got a really good team. They do. Their offense is not great. But what it is it's efficient, and they don't make a lot of mistakes. Jimmy G, I don't think will be in contention for top 10 quarterback or anything like that. But I don't think he'll throw many interceptions.
So what's this have to do with Kenny Gainwell?
I'm getting there, right?
In a very circuitous route.
I'm getting there. Just let me talk about. So I'm saying, and their defense is fantastic, and they showed that last week. So I think that week 1, Kenneth Gainwell against Atlanta is more the type of guy that you're going to see versus week 2. The real answer to that question is we'll find out Monday, because I think they're playing in Dallas. They're going to pull out all the tricks to try to win this game. This is a huge game for the Eagles and a huge game for Dallas. But if you're like, no, he's an RB2 and he's a rookie. So he's a guy that you put on the end of your bench in fantasy. And maybe if something happens to Miles Sanders, you start to play him. Or if by midseason, he's getting 15 touches a game, then we can talk about it. But right now, he's a total backup.
Yeah. He's somebody you hope can be flex-worthy by midseason.
Right.
Yeah. And honestly, we hope he is flex-worthy by midseason.
Sure, man, because,
It means good things for us.
But to be perfectly honest with you, and I am a big Eagles homer, I am not super excited about their offense yet. I've seen some things that I like, and I've seen some things that I don't like.
Well, the thing is, I think they have plenty of players to get done what they're trying to get done. Not quite sure I trust Nick Sirianni yet.
Yep.
He made some bad play calls last week, which I think cost him the game, honestly. I don't think the players played poorly. I think the play calling cost them the game.
If you get inside the 5-yard line and can't score, that's the coach's fault.
Especially when you get, 7 chances?
7 plays.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you come away with 0 points, that's coaching. That's not the players.
Yeah.
I believe you. Well, I appreciate your time, guys. All the best this week.
You too, buddy.
Thanks.
Good luck. Have a day.
Have a day, sir.
All right, have a day.
Thank you. It was very relaxed kind of an outro there.
Puckman says, who would you start, Baker Mayfield or Justin Fields? I'm not starting a rookie in their first start. So Baker's healthy. You play him.
Yeah, I agree. Starting a rookie in their first start.
Groove says, LMAO, just noticed Kevin has a convicted felon's fat head on the wall.
You know why I have that fat head on the wall?
One game.
That Giants game.
Yeah, one game.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, Don't judge me.
That's
Dude,
a great game.
I watch that game as well as the Super Bowl at least once a month.
Me too.
I watch that fourth quarter. As soon as Merrill says, and that's just going to about do it.
That should
And
about do it.
From that moment on, I watch that, and I get a little misty.
It's
verklempt, if you will.
In my opinion. Well, no, the Patriots coming back in the Super Bowl is the greatest comeback ever.
No, for me, that's my third favorite game.
For the Eagles?
For the Eagles.
So that's number 3. Number 1 is obviously the Super Bowl.
Number 1 Super Bowl.
And number 2 would have to be the Minnesota Viking game we were at.
That we were at,
NFC
yeah.
Championship game.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is probably, I don't, whenever somebody's like, are you going to the Eagles game? I'm like, yeah, I'm going, but it's never going to be that good again.
Never going to be that good.
Yeah, it's like I peaked early, you know. I got another 20, 30, 40 years left on this planet.
You
maybe.
hope.
Yeah. And, that many seasons of Eagles football, I'll never see a game better than that NFC Championship game.
And experience it.
It was fantastic.
When the Vikings got the ball on the kickoff and drove right down and threw the touchdown to Rudolph, we were like, oh.
There it is.
That's it. I
Here
mean,
we go.
they can't stop them, obviously.
Yep. And people forget, like you look at it now and in hindsight, you go, well, the Eagles were the best team in the NFC all year. Dude, the Vikings were really good.
They were.
They were really good that year. So we were very, very concerned going into that game. And to be perfectly honest, we did not expect the Eagles to win. And not only did they win, they blew them out.
Yeah, by the beginning of the fourth quarter, we were just kind of chilling, hanging out with the people
I remember them being up like 24-7 or something at
and
halftime,
we were not comfortable.
And I was not convinced that they were going to win the game. No. I was like, they're going to screw this up. But yeah, dude. Lyle's side of things has my wife's favorite movie of all time. Oh, Caddyshack or.
You can only see Caddyshack.
Oh, yeah, so Caddyshack then, yeah.
So what you can't usually see, and I'm going to move this around here. I have to pull this up so I can see.
If we have to stare at a fathead's crotch the whole time, why not Nicky Fathead Foles?
Okay, so wait a minute. So over here is I have the beer chart, right?
Yeah.
Shows you the beers.
Yeah.
And then right there, if you can see that.
You get a little further. There
Is the Vader versus Skywalker fight poster.
Yeah.
There's Superman flipping Lyle the bird, which is good.
And then Caddyshack.
Let's see. And then over here, which you don't usually see, if I can get past the lights, I can't.
You got to get over top of it.
Yeah, you can't see it over there, but I have a Carson Wentz fat head, and I have a Nicky Foles fat head,
and a Brian
Westbrook fat head. And Brian Westbrook just recently nominated to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, do you think he'll get in?
No.
I don't think he'll get in either. I don't think he's a Hall of Famer.
Nah, I'm sorry to say, but he's not.
He's not even, his number's not even retired for the Eagles.
No.
It's like,
Oh, one of my prized possessions here.
Uh-oh.
Is the Jason Kelsey at the Eagles Super Bowl parade.
Bobblehead. Well, it's not really, it doesn't really bobble, does it?
It does, but I still have the collar up under him still.
Okay.
But
that thing's
dressed
dope.
as a mummer.
Yeah, that thing's dope, man.
Which, if you're not from Philadelphia, you don't know what a mummer is, but, YouTube it. You'll see what mummers are. It's very Philadelphia. It's very strange.
You see the guy give him the beer after the game?
Oh, I love it.
In Atlanta?
Yeah. And Mulata came by and got one, too.
Yeah. It's so awesome, dude.
Yeah, these guys are
he
definitely
genuinely was like, this is for me? It was a Bud Light. But he was genuinely like, oh, man, that's awesome. Thank you.
What's not to like?
Probably shouldn't be drinking beer during the season, but I'm not going to judge.
Do you know how many calories those guys burn?
Yeah.
I mean, I think the guy's name was Tim Green. He was an announcer. I think he passed. I'm not sure. But he was an announcer, but he was a defensive end for the Atlanta Falcons. And he wasn't a really big guy.
He is still alive.
He is, good. But I mean, he was sick for a while. Glad he recovered. But
I don't know that he recovered. He's only 57, though.
Okay, well, good for him. But, he wrote a book about life in the NFL, and he said his wife was so embarrassed because they would go out to dinner. He had to try to keep his weight up.
Right.
Because just playing football just burns massive amounts of
calories.
calories.
It's like those sumo wrestlers, man.
Yeah, just to be big like that, they have to eat so much.
But they did a study on them, and their food intake, the way that they store fat, it's stored all over their entire body. It's not centered around their waist and hips and stuff like most people who are unhealthy are. So those guys can weigh 600 pounds and be in tip-top, like literally tip-top shape. cardiovascularly, everything, right? Because of the way they, they're burning 20,000 calories a day, through their exercise routine. So they have to eat like that.
Right.
It's crazy.
Well, he was saying he would go to restaurants, with his wife and another couple or whatever, and he'd order, 3 appetizers, soup and salad, and then get, 2 or 3 entrees and then 4 desserts. And she'd be like, oh, my God. But he had to eat that way.
Right.
Because, at tip-top shape, beginning of the season, he was like 275 pounds.
Right.
And he would be 258 pounds by the end of the season.
Right.
And he was still eating like that, but they wanted his weight up because he's going against gargantuan offensive linemen.
Right.
So.
Yeah. It's wild, man.
Yeah. That's the whole thing. You can eat whatever you want. You just have to exercise like an NFL player. Ain't happening.
Should be easy.
Yeah, I'll get right on that. So I think that's the end of the show, so I'll do this.
Yeah, let's do it.
Taco time.
Hey, it's not open yet, but.
Yeah, it's 12:30. They open at 12.
Well, I thought it opened at 1.
Tomorrow they open at 12. Anyway. So let me know how it is. I'm curious.
I'm gonna be really excited.
All right.
I'm gonna eat so many tacos. It's not even gonna make sense. They're gonna be like another taco, and I'm gonna be like, dude, don't judge me.
They're $3 a throw. I
Yeah.
make a good living. Shut up.
Yeah.
All right, guys, enjoy your Saturday, your weekend, your games. We'll be back, on Wednesday for the Week 4 preview.
Is that crunch time?
No.
I think we're getting
It is in the Guillotine League. That league should be called the Crunch League.
Yeah, I know. It's this crunch time every
You see I changed the title of it to the Guillotine League? There can be only one?
Yes, Highlander. Yeah.
That can be only
I was
one.
close to the bottom last week.
You were. Yeah. And in fact, Robbie and I were talking about it. It was like, wouldn't it be hysterical if Lyle got ousted week 2? We both agreed that it would be hysterical.
It doesn't matter. Here's the thing. I don't want to go out week 1, and I don't want to go out the last week. Everything in between,
yeah,
you're just clawing for your life, man.
So somebody asked about why waiver wire stuff was done on Thursday. I don't know. I could make it Wednesday.
It's just easier for you to then you'd have to cut the.
Dude, that whole thing takes me like 3 minutes on Tuesday morning.
I'm just saying, I like that it's on Thursday.
Yeah, I don't mind.
I do. It gives me more time to think about that week. And plus, you need time to figure out who was on the guy's team or gal's team. Gender non-specific guys.
All right,
I'm leaving. I'm going to eat tacos.
Taco Man. All right, we're out. See ya. Bye.
Peace out. I love you. I mean it. Mm-hmm.
He does mean it, which is awesome. Okay, stopping recording. Bye, Twitchers, streamers.